Well, it's that wonderful time of the year again. The Trinidad Professional League Season 3 has begun. Well, it's about to begin. It's imminent. It's imminent, December 6th. You know, the first season 2 years back was in September. The second season last year was in October. This season is December. I'm a little bit worried that the following season might start in January of 2026. Nevertheless, let us go. So what we're dealing with here. Now, what is very discouraging about this is the fact that for months, we had no idea. And we might be the only country in the whole damn world that had no idea when our football season was starting. It was July, August, September, October. Not a word, not a word. And I believe it was late November, we were informed of December 6th. I realize the PFL might have challenges. They're not as silly as they appear. But you know, this is what communicating with the public does. People are more understanding. And if people are more understanding, it helps you market your product a little bit better. And it matters. Why? Because you want our money to show up at a football match. And this is our football, not your football. Our football. You know, it's the third season. They don't have a website. If they have a PRO or a communications officer, I don't know who that is. But, you know, how hard could it have been around even August to say, well, you know, this is when we think the season is starting. This is probably why we don't know for sure. You know, we know you have challenges. I think most of us understand it's not an easy job administrating football post-COVID-19, post the normalization committee, and in these financial times. So anyway, we're very grateful. We're very happy. Our teams are there. We've started our PFL, but it would behoove the PFL and the Ttpfl to perhaps have better communication. There's something else that has been going on for a while now, really getting on my nerves, and that is you have teams playing way out of their own zone. Neither team is the home team. And so who the hell coming to watch them play? This Sunday, which I believe is the 8th, you have, I believe it's Eagles FC, a central team, versus AC Port of Spain in the deepest of South Mahaica Oval, Point 14. Who is the home team here? Who is the home team? If it's supposed to be, for example, Eagles FC, and my home game is many miles away in Point 14, and then I have to play AC Port of Spain in Port of Spain, I would bust a cuss. Now, I am going to assume that the PFL is not as silly as they appear. Maybe it's a matter of finances and logistics. For example, if you have a double header, you get more people, which is more money. Okay. And maybe you want to bring both games live, but you can't have cameras in two separate locations. And therefore, you have 4 teams all in one location. I'm assuming, because again, this has never been communicated to us. Is there anywhere else in the world where they force 2 teams that play way, way, way outside their own region and expect crowds to show up? I mean, seriously? Seriously? So hopefully this is something that they can rectify in the future. Or perhaps these areas don't have proper grounds. I don't know. I mean, hard to believe there's not one good ground in Central for Eagles, but what I do, okay? Again, this is something I find very frustrating in the third season. We're supposed to be moving forward. By the way, if you want our website, Wix.com is free of site. I have 2 websites there, and they have wonderful features for anybody who wants to administrate a website. Lastly, well, not lastly, but I want to talk about money. Look, we seem to be one of the few countries in the world that can't bring down big teams to play us. You know, minnows like Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia could do it. We can't do it. Other countries can bring down super clubs, and they can bring down big countries. If the FA does not have the skills for this, please let free enterprise take over. You would sell out the stadium to see a club like Arsenal, Man United, Man City, even, for example, PSV Eindhoven, Flamengo Santos, Corinthians, Paulista, etc., play at the national stadium versus our national champions or the national team. You know, so let free enterprise do this. It behooves football. It behooves you. It would be great for the sport, and a lot of money could be made if this is done. I want to show a backup plan for people who have no money. And this is not a big deal. It was done many, many times during the 80s and 90s. By all means, have a TNT All-Stars, locally based team, and the national under 23, under 20, and under 18 team. Have them go around the country playing against each other and take it to the far regions. Yes, Point 14, but also places like Faizabad, Princestown, Sangre Grande, and Tobago. Let them play each other. It's a great way to scout for talent. It increases the quality of football that the youths are playing. And at least it's good, decent exhibition matches. And you might even get more people than you get for these local club matches. Because sometimes at the odd match, you see more players than people. I realize it's not a super idea, but if you're hard up on money, it's not a bad way to sharpen up the youngsters. And the people in the nether regions of Trinidad, in the far off places, would appreciate this. So this is something to think about. Also, I've said it before. Have a derby at the beginning of this season, Trinidad versus Tobago. Trinidad All-Stars versus Tobago All-Stars, and have the matches alternate every year in each island. It's a great way again to scout talent and possible players for the future. I understand there's no demotion or promotion for this year's PFL. This was explained, and I understood that a lot of clubs are not meeting the requirements of CONCACAF in terms of being a pro club. And I can understand that. You see, you communicated yourself. I understand. I'm cool with that. Let's talk about the clubs that are going to play. Well, Samoa is back in action. I believe it's 12 clubs, if I remember correctly. I think it's 12 or maybe 13. I don't know if anybody is missing. Obviously, W Connection is not there. My odds-on favorite is AC Sport of Spain and Defense Force. They both got good players. They've both been making purchases. And they're my favorites because a lot of the other clubs just don't seem to have the finances to get the firepower that they need. Who's left? You got AC Port of Spain Defense Force. Police FC is in the mix without a doubt. Police and Defense Force have the sort of makeup to perhaps maintain a football club because of the way they're constructed. You've got Club Sando, which can pull off surprises. You got La Hoquita Rangers, which must be the underachiever of the league. 2 years ago, they seemed to be the most organized, best club. They came fourth in the first season, I believe fifth in the second season. Inside gossip is the owner is too close to the team. But on paper, this is a club that seems to be going places. They're not losing players. And I don't know if they're bringing in any new players. But on paper, for the first 2 years, this is a club that should have done a lot better. Nothing less than top three. And to be honest with you, if they even come out of the top four this year, I would be very frustrated if I was connected to La Hoquita. On paper, a very good club. Mova and Phoenix, in particular, really improved themselves in the latter half of the second season. Mova has bought some players and look forward to them pulling off some surprises as well. I don't think Phoenix is going to finish in the top four, but they had a lot of Cinderella matches. They did well. Mova, we don't know what kind of players they purchased. We'll see when they start playing. Presents pulls off the odd upset. Point 14, they try hard, but they don't really have a lot of firepower, no big guns. And the catch-tail side, sadly, is Central FC. Once the giants of Trinidad and Tobago and Caribbean football, they're catching tail. But again, for a lot of these clubs, it's finances. You got to admire them. They're doing the best they can in very dire streets. The last thing I want to say is I'd like the Trinidad and Tobago government, which is supporting football, to step up and maybe do a little more. And let me explain why. First, let me say, for example, for the league, put up prizes of, say, 400, 300, and 250,000 for first to third. Even $500,000 for first. For the FA Cup, maybe 300 and 225. And let the PFL get their own money for the League Cup. Let this happen for 3 years, and then maybe just continue to sponsor the league and let the PFL handle the FA and the League Cup, because they have to have some kind of sustenance. You can't mind people for their entire life. But why? You're asking why? Why should the government do this? I'll tell you why. Nothing brings our country together like football. And you got 100,000 people off the street. It lowers the crime rate. It keeps them fit. It provides scholarships. It provides future professionals who, of course, make money and pump it back into Trinidad and Tobago. And, of course, when you qualify for a World Cup, you can't put a price tag on that. It brings the people together better than a Brian Lara century, better than a Heasley Crawford gold medal. Football does a lot for this country. It helps them market and brand a country. If you remember what it felt like to be in the 06 World Cup, then you know what I'm talking about. So it's a humble suggestion. And on the flip side of the coin, the PFL and Ttpfl should be transparent with their finances. So anyway, it's season 3 of the PFL. I'm sorry to say this, but it looked like there'll be a little bit of pull stones here and there. But what can you say? Yeah, Trini, you love your football. We're going to support these teams. And at least we are providing professionals for leagues in Jamaica and Europe and other parts of the world. So at least some of these players like Nathaniel James, Aaron Enel, and so many others are getting their opportunities abroad. God bless TNT Football.